Good day and welcome back to my channel. So kit review time. We have this is a sci-fi kit from, well, sci-fi anime, I guess, from the Macross saga. For those of you who are in the US, this would be Robotech. Be familiar with it. You know, back in my day, many eons ago, back when rocks were soft and anime was 3 colored cells played over and over and over. The Robotech saga. This is the Veritech Fighter, VF-1J, Valkyrie Vermilion Squadron. So this is the one that Rick Hunter ended up in when right at the beginning. Those of you who are familiar with Robotech, Macross, you get it. This is the aircraft version. It does not transform, so it's not one of the transformables. Box art's fantastic. This is from Hasegawa, and it is in 1/48 scale. So there's your side. Got some kit number 65652. There's some pictures of the anime cells. That's it in Battleoid mode and in Guardian mode, and then of course the fighter mode. And you can see Vermilion Squadron in white, and then the gray or the brown. You have, you know, stuff written in Japanese, and you have details about the model also in Japanese, which is beyond my skill set to translate. There's your other side. And this is pictures of the models. You can tell this was used and been sitting around a little bit. I don't know if you can still get these kits, but you know, if you can, cool. It says model length is 296 mil, so just about 30 centimeters, and the wingspan's also a little bit over 30 centimeters, 288 parts. One of the interesting things, it does show you have internal details. So if you take that outer panel off, you can get some nice panel detail. Box art's pretty cool. Nothing on the back. So let's go ahead and crack into the box. This is a kit that's been floating around on my on the to-do list for a while. I mean, I'm a big Robotech fan. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a little bit recognize that I do Battletech a lot, and that's really how I got into Battletech. So there's our clear parts, one bag of plastic, your destruction sheet, and your transfer sheet. So we will go ahead and set this off to the side. And we'll start with the decal sheet. And our decal sheet has covered. We have Vermilion Squadron colors. We have the UN Spacey markings. You have the Prometheus, you have the SDF-1, and you have the RMD-1. So whichever of the launch vehicles it's from, you have 101, 111, and 112. And that is Ichijo, which I believe is Rick Hunter in the US. And you have Genos, and you have Takizaki. These are different pilots in the US version. I'd have to find out what they are. Got some nice template markings, which is pretty cool. Your cockpit, you have colored, so if you don't want to paint it, you can have your nice cartoon markings for the cockpit. Depends on how you want to take it. So there you go. The transfer sheet looks pretty nice. They're not yellowed. They're a little thick, but not too terrible. And you can kind of see they're there. They're all in register. They all look nice. You can read your no steps. You can read your placards. So those are all cool. The details are nice. And you know, now this is an anime model, so if you are an airplane guy who looks to do realistic, depictions, then you're gonna have a little bit of a challenge. It's gonna be somewhat amateurish. So your instruction guide is in Japanese, so we're gonna have a little bit of a challenge with that. Your instruction guide is fold-out sheet, which isn't ideal, but you know, it works. So something in Japanese, I think you can figure it out. Your sprue map, A, B, C, D, E, there's no F, G, H, there's no H or I, there's J, 2 Ks, an M and an N. You do get two canopy parts. Yeah. And you have your painting guide. And those are going to be for, you know, the markings for the enemy version, if that's the direction you choose to go. Take a look at your instructions. While it's all written in Japanese, it's pretty straightforward. You have your color markings, you have your transfer callouts. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. You start the cockpit tub, then you put the cockpit tub into the front fuselage, put the front fuselage together. You do have landing gear. So it looks like here. Now I've heard this, and I haven't seen it. One of these has a seam line, the other one doesn't. So it sounds like they put a second one in here to compensate for the seam line. Because they're pointing to it. I don't know what it means. So, you know, whatever that means. You do have landing gear, and then open or close doors. And you do have two head versions. So this is the 1A, I believe, and that's the 1J. Of course, I could have them backwards. The weapon pod, then the main fuselage. Main fuselage, this goes together. It does have swing wing, so you do have the ability to do the swing wing part. There's your mechanic for that. Your tail wings, and then your internal fuselage parts, and then your thrusters, which are, you know, in Battloid mode would be the legs. Here are the directions they give you if you want to put on the detail parts. If you want to leave the panels open for display. They look kind of simplistic, but, you know, it's kind of cool. There's detail there. I'm sure you could, if you want to be creative and play with it, you can. It does have landing gear bay. You can see it. And color callouts, and then you put everything together. So your centerpieces go, and then your thrusters go on. So there's where your arms are hidden, and then there's your color callouts and your painting schemes. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. You know, it's an instruction sheet, and it's, you know, it is in Japanese, but, you know, a little bit of effort reading. So let's take a look at these. We'll start with these here. So this is a 1/48 scale, so it's a little bit larger. So yeah, this one here has a mucking big seam line right down the center of it, going the whole way. And then, if this is to believe, it does not. Now it does have a little bit of a switching mark because it's there. And we have other clear parts here. So interestingly, if I could read Japanese, I'm wondering why that one has that seam line where this one does not. I mean, it's almost like that's intentional since it's in the instructions. So, curiosity. I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell you. Let's go ahead and slide into, sorry about that. One of these days I'm going to learn how to work around my mount. Probably be the day that I stop filming because, you know, moved on to something else. Okay, so this is your wings. No flash. Got some nice detail. There's some very nice recessed panel line detail on the wing, and it looks to be fairly in scale. So this is a 48 scale ship. I don't see any sink marks. You do have ejector pin marks, but they are in hidden places. There's no sink marks really on the other side of it. Your detail's nice. I'm not seeing any flash, and your molding's pretty crisp. This is pretty nice. These are some very nice things. sprue gates are small, which is nice. So that's pretty cool. And here is your thrusters. So there's the detail for the engines. Now, okay. So it's the detail on the engine parts are nice. It's this part that's sort of amateur. So it's, you know, it's clearly printed on a flat surface. If that had been open, I mean, perhaps you could open it and put more detail in there, like in this spot here. Because you see, here's where your landing gear is on this side, so that has to look like the landing bay. I don't know. It's got some possibility. This is your cover if you chose not to go with that open, or perhaps, you know, maybe paint this up and instead of having that whole panel off, just have an open door that looks into that. That might look better. There's your thrusters from inside your feet. Inside detail for those. It's kind of nice. Again, no sink marks, no flash. Your detail lines are details really nice. Some really nice detail there. That could stand to be open in those crevices. Ejector pin marks on the outside of those little tiny parts. Or ejector pin gates, I guess. Those details are nice. There's details on the inside here, which is interesting. So it's almost like you could flip it up. Sort of cool. Interesting. So that, I believe, is one of the heads. It is. Fairly nice size. So again, it's 1/48 scale. So this is the VF-1A, I believe, head. And then we have, looks like your pilot seat, cockpit. Nice details there. Yeah. That's kind of plain, but I mean, that's meant to be covered by a transfer, which is nice. There's the, I guess, where the HUD is. Your pilot for a 1/48 scale anime pilot. He's not bad. Sort of mushy, but if you're going to put a pilot in there, it doesn't look too terrible. So this is your VF-1J head. Nice detail again. And this one has a single cannon. You put the cannons together, which is like, so you have a seam line, but. So this is one of your arm/mount points. Nice detail, intake piece, nice small, even your small pieces have got these little tiny sprue gates, these little tiny pieces here, small sprue gates to get to, so those are nice. The detail's nice, the detail's crisp, you can see that right there. This is going to be fun to put together. Looking forward to this one. This is another one of the same. Looks like it's missing a part. What's it? One of those. Okay. Let's see. Well, it was in the bag, so in theory, there it is. There we go. It was bagged, so I'm not going to worry about being anything. So, you know, again, same thing. Like a little bit of mold release, a little bit of scratches on it. This isn't a brand, like I said, this is not a brand new kit. Yep, that's meant to be. So, some nice detail there. Those look like the wheel. I believe those are wheels. And this is, so your intakes, right? Nice detail here. Vent detail there, which is nice. Again, there's ejector pins there, but there's no sink marks on the other side, so that's cool. This is your upper tailpiece, so this is where your upper stabilizers go. This is the upper housing. It goes across the top, so that goes here. Nice details. Cool. Well done. And this is your upper and your main fuselage parts. So this is the lower fuselage. And this is part of the gun pod. There's your front fuselage. Nice. Cockpit tub. Upper fuselage. And lower fuselage. Or other nose. That's nose. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. So ejector pin marks all over the inside. No sink marks on the outside. Details nice. This will paint up and wash up very nicely. This actually has some pretty nice possibilities. So that is the Hasegawa 1/48 scale Veritech 1J. I am impressed with the kit, and 1/48 is not a scale I normally work in. Typically, I'm going to work in 1/32. So I do have a 1/48 A10. So what I may end up doing is try and build this in a realistic type look. So you're looking at your artwork here. You've got the panel details. So this is not the anime style drawing. This is realistic-ish drawing of the aircraft that it would quote unquote be. So the details you can take this to, it's got some possibility. Looking at the finished product. Now that's it painted up with very cartoony paint scheme. That white, and then just panel wash, and that's it, nice and clean. I think giving it the same kind of treatment you would give an F-14, you get a really nice looking result. So we will wait. We will see what we can do with this one. That's what's in this box. So if you are interested and you can happen to find this anywhere, I don't know that it's still out and about. It is currently 2018, so I don't know when you see this video. If you do find that, that's what's in that box. I hope this helps you, and hey, happy modeling. Thank you.